Hi everyone, welcome to Molly's Story Time. Today's story is Smelly Socks and Terrible Tangles by Damian and Harvey. There's two stories in this book, The Sock Eater and Nellie's Nest. The first story we're going to read is The Sock Eater. Jan found the thing beneath his bed sucking a soggy football sock. He had been looking for his socks for ages. He had looked in the cupboard and on his desk, but there was no sign of the socks anywhere. That meant only one thing. He would have to look beneath his bed. Jan shuddered. Who knew what he might find in that terrible place? He pulled out a plate full of rotten pizza that he had hidden from Mum. The pizza was green and mouldy, and there were hairs growing on the chunks of tomato. Then he fished out an old pair of trainers. Jan scrunched up his face in disgust. They stank like Dad's favourite cheese. Jan shone his torch into the dusty shadows, and there it was. It sucked and slurped as if it was eating a chocolate-covered cream donut. Hey! Cried Jan. That's my sock! He tried to grab the sock, but the creature swallowed it like a piece of spaghetti. The sock eater licked his lips with his flat blue tongue. Yum, it said, reaching for the second sock with its long, thin fingers. Jan snatched the sock as quickly as he could from under the bed. You're not having this one, said Jan, waving the sock above his head. Please, begged the creature. Jan looked into the sock eater's big round eyes. Do you really want it? Asked Jan. The creature nodded and smiled hungrily. Well, I suppose one sock is no use to anyone, said Jan. The sock eater slurped it down greedily. Yum, yum, it said, and let out a huge burp. Core, cried Jan, trying to waft the smell away. That really stinks. Stinks, the sock eater replied. Then it yawned and climbed into Jan's bed. This is cool, thought Jan. Just wait until my friends see this. Jan had wanted a pet for a long time, but Mum and Dad weren't very keen. He didn't know what sort of creature the sock eater was, but he knew none of his friends had one. They would be so jealous. It could eat all the smelly socks in the lost property box at school. He would win first prize in the most peculiar pet competition. It would be so cool. As Jan walked downstairs, an idea popped into his head and he began to smile. Mum, he asked, if I keep my room tidy, can I have a pet? Mum and Dad grinned at each other. They knew there was no way Jan would ever keep his room tidy. You tidy your room tonight, said Mum, then we'll see. Yes, cried Jan as he charged back up the stairs. With a pet like the sock eater, keeping his room tidy would be simple. Then Jan remembered that he was supposed to be looking for something. Mum, he shouted, where's my socks? Mum shook her head in dismay. There's a pair down here, she said. Anyone would think we'd been eating them, said Dad. No, said Jan, turning bright red. Not me. When he got to school, none of Jan's friends believed his tale about the sock eater. It's probably a dog, said Josh. Our dog eats slippers. It isn't a dog, said Jan. How about a snake, suggested Ali. I think I'd know if there was a snake under my bed, replied Jan. No, it's definitely a sock eater. You'll see. After school, Jan couldn't wait to tidy his room. He grabbed the vacuum cleaner and a duster and went straight upstairs. I think he must be serious about wanting a pet, muttered Dad. Jan worked all evening on his room. He dusted and polished, he sorted and tidied, he even cleaned under his bed. While Jan was busy, the sock eater hid beneath his quilt. When he had finished tidying, Jan offered the sock eater a new sock, but it didn't seem hungry anymore. It looked at Jan's tidy bedroom and pulled a face. Yuck, said the sock eater in disgust. Too tidy. When Mum and Dad came upstairs and saw Jan's room, they could hardly believe their eyes. It makes ours look like a tip, said Dad. So, said Mum, what sort of pet are you thinking about? This, said Jan, pulling back his quilt. But there was nothing there. There was nothing under his bed either, or in the cupboard. Jan searched until bedtime, and the sock eater had gone. The next morning, Jan felt miserable without his new pet. He lay in bed and listened as Dad ran up and down the stairs. "What are you doing?" Mum called. "Looking for my running socks," said Dad. "You're as bad as Jan," laughed Mum. "You should put your things away." As Dad ran down the stairs again, Jan heard something else. A huge grin spread across his face. There was a slurping, sucking sound coming from Mum and Dad's room. "Yum, yum," squeaked a little voice. "Socks." The end. Thank you for listening, and remember to subscribe to my channel for more great stories.